welcome to Wicked Tulips Flower Farm. I'm Jenny, I'm a yoga instructor, and tonight we're going to do a practice with restorative yoga. So restorative yoga is really about building the floor up to you. We come to only a few poses, and then we use our props to rest. And so the props that we need today are just two pillows. So you can choose two throw pillows or two bed pillows. And we'll stack them on top of each other, and that will be how we build the floor up to us. So we'll start with just a little of movement, a little stretching before we come to stillness. So maybe as you land in your easy seated position, whatever that looks like for you, your legs might be crossed or extended. Eyes can gently close or gaze at a spot ahead of you, just softening around the eyes. Taking a few deep breaths as you settle in. Noticing how the breath is showing up today. Noticing how you are showing up today, mentally, emotionally, physically. And welcoming all of that onto the mat, however it is. This is the place that we practice and integrate all of that. We learn more about ourselves. So welcome that process. Welcome yourself into that process. And start to lengthen out the breath. Inhale and exhale. Maybe you start to count to a number or repeat a word or phrase to yourself that helps to measure the length of the inhale and the exhale, and we use that to start to make the inhales and exhales equal. So maybe you count to 4 on the inhale, and then exhale to a count of 4. Or again, maybe there's a word or a phrase that you repeat to yourself on the inhale and say it again on the exhale. Give yourself about 3 more full rounds of that breath and stillness before we start to move a little. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale and exhale. And then at the bottom of your exhale, gently drop the chin towards the chest. Take a pause there. And then start to roll the head from side to side. Send one ear towards one shoulder. And then chin rolls back down to chest, other ear towards the other shoulder. And then continue with that for a few more rounds. Chin rolling to the center, and then ear to one side, and then other ear towards the other side. And then with next inhale, bring the crown back up to center. Spine is long, crown is tall. We'll take some cat-cow breaths to start to warm up the spine. So we inhale, arch the back, gaze up. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, arch the back, gaze up. Exhale and round. And then either continue just like this with your hands right where they are. That can help with the push-pull, the traction for the inhale and exhale. Or as you inhale, you might want to reach the arms out wide, stretching across the chest, even down through the fingertips. And then exhale and cross the arms in front of you and hug the shoulders in as you curl in. And whatever version of this works best for you, stay with it for about 3 more full breaths. Feeling the expansion of the inhale, reaching in all directions. And then on the exhale, curling in, contracting. Like the ebb and flow of life, how we go through times of expansion and times of contracting, turning inward. Next inhale, just gently make your way back up to seated, tall, crown, long spine. We'll inhale, sweep the arms out and overhead, reach through the fingers. And then as you exhale, twist to your right side, fingers keep down ahead and behind. Just start with a gentle twist, just gazing towards your right. Taking a few breaths, and then maybe bringing your front hand to your thigh to tug yourself in a little bit more, and starting to gaze behind you. Stay there for 1 more full breath. Inhale and exhale. And then as you inhale, sweep yourself back up to center, reaching through the fingers, and exhale and twist to the other side. So fingers down ahead and behind, just start noticing what's showing up in the spine, just gazing to the side. And then if you decide you want to go a little deeper, you bring your front hand to your thigh and again, tug yourself in a little more so you can gaze behind you. Last full breath here. And then next inhale sweeps you back up to center. Reach through the fingers. Pause at the top to exhale and just drop the shoulders a little. Inhale, reach back up through the fingers. Maybe you gaze up towards those fingers. And then with an exhale, right hand comes down beside, right elbow bends, left arm reaches. Making space and length in the rib cage, reaching through the fingers, keeping both sits bones rooted where they are, reaching and lengthening through the fingers. And then decide where your gaze will go. Maybe it goes down towards the ground, the floor. Maybe it goes up towards the ceiling or the sky. Your choice. And then next, inhale, sweep yourself back up to center. Reach through the fingers. And as you exhale, send it to the other side. Pressing down through the left palm, left elbow bends, right arm reaches. Both sits bones are grounded. Continue to breathe. Notice where your gaze lands. Maybe if you want to change it, you might change direction. Maybe it goes up towards the sky. Maybe it stays right where it is. And then next, inhale, sweep yourself back up to center. Reach through the fingers again. And then as you exhale, bring the hands to the hips. And we'll take some circles with our torso. So turn in one direction. Doesn't matter which one. We'll do both. So just gently shifting your weight forward and then around. And then when you're ready, sending it the other way. Forward and around. And then back up to center. If the legs are crossed, release the legs and bring soles of the feet to the mat, knees bent. The hands come just a little bit behind the hips and we'll windshield wiper the knees left and right. So let the knees drop to one side and then back up to center and drop to the other side. And then continue with that, going at your own pace, just letting the knees drop side to side. Good. And then the knees come back up to center. Let's straighten out the legs, nice and long. Point the toes up towards the sky or maybe towards you a little bit. Root down through the backs of the legs and the sits bones. Start by letting the hands hover just next to the hips, shoulders roll back and down. Nice and strong, like you're hovering or levitating on your mat. And then with an inhale, sweep the arms back up overhead, reach through the fingers. And as you exhale, hinge forward and reach over your legs. And once you've folded as far forward as feels good to you, let the arms drop down and take hold of something. Maybe hold of your shins or your ankles. If you can reach towards your toes, maybe you reach towards your toes, your choice. Last full breath. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale. Walk the fingers back up to seated. Take the soles of the feet and now bring the feet together. Knees come out wide. Bound angle pose. So again, the hands can come to the shins or ankle, maybe even down to the feet. But as you inhale, arch the back, gaze up. And once again, with the exhale, fold. Let the heart lead you in. Folding in only as far as feels okay, especially on the low back. One more full breath. Inhale. And exhale. And then inhale. And walk the fingers back up to seated. You can unravel the legs and maybe extend them long so that you tap the backs of the legs down again, or windshield wiper the knees again if you prefer. And then before we make our way down, let's take our pillows. So we'll take our pillows and stack them so that they're one on top of the other. Just bring them down by our legs. We'll lift our legs and let them rest on the pillows here. And then slowly begin to lower yourself all the way down. So you just lifted the legs up here. And then your torso, your head come all the way down onto the mat. A little bit of an inversion. So the hands can rest on the belly or one on the belly and one on the heart. Another option is to just have your arms out to the floor, palms up. And then maybe you gaze above you or just start to close your eyes. And this is where we start to land. So find your way into it, settle in here, continue with your resting. As we land, notice if it's difficult to land. It's normal once we come to stillness to feel like the mind doesn't want to be still. So if that's true for you, again, welcome it just like you welcomed everything else at the beginning of class. Welcome it however it's showing up. And maybe you come back to the breath, or to that word or phrase that you repeated to yourself on the inhale and exhale. As you land for a few more minutes here, just resting, I'll share with you a reading. This is the first of 2 readings I'll share with you today from the book called Deep Listening by Jillian Pransky. So this first one is called Welcome. In whatever way you're showing up here, wherever you may have been, gather your whole self up and let yourself know that you're welcome here. Whether you're showing up with expectations or with fears, whether you're showing up in joy or in sorrow, take a moment to greet yourself exactly as you are right now. Gather yourself up and welcome all of you, your mind, your body, your breath. Sit for a moment and welcome yourself along with each breath as it fills you. Welcome your breath into your body. Welcome your mind onto your breath. Welcome yourself into the room. Your breath is always welcoming you. Meet your breath with your body. Greet your breath with your body. Take a moment to be with your breath. Take a moment to be with yourself. When we feel welcomed, we show up more. Give yourself about 3 more full, slow breaths in this pose. Then gently wiggle fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. And from here, just gently roll yourself to one side. So the legs can fall off the pillow and you're rolling to one side, cradling your head and your arm. Taking a pause. And then using your top hand, pressing yourself back up to your seated position. Back to where we started. And we'll prepare for our next pose here. So from here, we leave the pillows exactly as they are. And we'll just shift ourselves so that our right hip is at the bottom of the pillows. So with the right hip at the bottom of the pillows, the knees are a little staggered, the feet are a little staggered on the mat. We'll inhale and sweep ourselves up, reaching through the fingers towards the ceiling or sky. And then as you exhale, let's twist over the pillows. So twist the torso over the pillows so that either hand is on either side of the pillows. And then as you exhale, let yourself melt over those pillows. And maybe your chin lands at the top of your pillows. Or if you have longer pillows than I do, you might rest the side of your cheek, either gazing in the direction of the knees or turning away. But we'll pause here in this twist for just a minute or two. And as you do, come back into awareness of your breath. Feel the inhale and exhale. Notice what might be going through your mind at this point. What might be showing up with you at this point. Again, be in that practice of welcoming all of it, just There's a quote that I love from Rogers, who is a therapist, who was a therapist, and he said, the curious paradox is that just when I accept myself exactly as I am, then I can change. Let's over here on our mat and then turn yourself around so that now the pillows are behind you. Soles of the feet to the mat, knees bent. Let's take our windshield wiper knees again. So just send them left and right. Maybe you extend the legs long and tap the backs of the legs down. And then shift yourself so that the left hip is now to the bottom of the pillow. The knees are staggered. And you turn to twist over the pillows so that the palms are to either side of the pillows. And then as you exhale, you melt over the pillows and the supports. And again, choosing how to rest your head. So either you rest your chin to the top of the pillow, or you might turn your head away from the direction of your knees for a deeper twist, or maybe you keep it in the same direction as the knees. Your choice, but pause here for a few moments. Notice what's different on this side as you twist here. Notice what might be showing up differently physically or emotionally. Everything that we feel from moment to moment is valid, but it's also temporary. So we can remind ourselves of that. Everything we feel right now is valid and it's temporary. Give it 2 more full breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then gently press back into your palms. Lift yourself back up. Turn yourself around again so that the pillows are still behind you. And again, choose how you transition. So either extend the legs and tap the backs of the legs down, or maybe feet to the mat, knees bent, and your windshield wiper left and right. And then we'll come to one final pose, and this will be our Shavasana. So our pillows don't have to change at all. You can adjust them slightly if you'd like to have a little more incline. You could use your top pillow and kind of bring it to an incline, and the bottom pillow is more of a support. It doesn't have to. It can stay stacked if you prefer. You can try one thing out, then change it if whatever you tried doesn't work for you. But we'll use this to lean back on. Our legs can be long and heavy like Shavasana legs, just long to the mat. Inhale, get some space and length. And then as you exhale, lean back over your pillows. And again, adjust. If you find, like me, that you don't have support for your head, you can choose to either let your head drop back, or maybe you adjust your pillow to support your head a little bit more. It's your choice. But from here, our arms can reach out to either side with palms up, and then let them rest heavy to the ground. That can give you a sense of openness or receptiveness. Or you bring your hands again to your heart and belly. And that can help us feel grounded and tune back into our breath. So this is our final pose. You take what works for you, leave what doesn't. And then once you find it, stay again for a few more moments. Notice if there's any tension in the face, especially around the eyebrows or in the jaw. Maybe you yawn, or take a few more centering breaths, repeating that phrase or word to yourself. And as you settle in, I'll share one more reading with you. And this one is called Listening Again and Again. Come pause for a moment. Let your weight drain down onto the earth. Let yourself land on the ground. Let yourself receive a few deep breaths. Feel your breath moving through you, moving you. Ride the waves of your breath into the present moment. Let your breath bring you here now. It doesn't matter where you've been. You can come back here now. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to be any way. You don't need to be good or right. You only need to be willing to come back, to begin again, This is how we do it over and over again. We show up kindly and curiously. We slow down, get grounded, breathe. We relax and breathe again. Pause and breathe again. Release and breathe again. Listen and breathe again and again. One breath at a time we arrive, even if only for one breath. One breath at a time we allow ourselves to be at ease, even if only for one breath. One breath at a time we pause and listen softly, deeply, bravely, even if only for one breath. We may hear our vulnerability, our sadness, our anger, our confusion, or our fear. We may hear our gratitude, our joy, our prayers, our blessings, and our love. One breath at a time we listen, and then we forget, we get lost, we zip away. But that's okay, we're always welcome back. We can always begin again. We can welcome ourselves back to begin again and again and yet again. One breath at a time we listen, we come back. One breath at a time we free ourselves to feel whole. Every time we listen deeply, we can remember our wholeness. Every time we listen deeply, we can remember our way back. And every time we listen deeply, we evolve. Give yourselves about 3 more full, slow breaths. Reminding yourself that each time you take that inhale and exhale, you come back to yourself again and again. No matter where you've been, you can always come back to yourself. And then as you're ready, bring some gentle movement back to those fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Maybe you stretch long and reach your arms overhead, point the toes, and then roll to one side. And press your top hand down, lift yourself back up to your easy seated position, back where we started our class together. We'll pause here as we close. Inhale, sweep the arms out and overhead, reaching through the fingers, and exhale, pull the hands together at heart center. Pausing for an inhale and exhale, and extend acceptance and gratitude to all the moments that brought us right here today. Right where we were meant to be, practicing from our spaces, but together. And then with next breath, I invite you to drop knuckles to knees, palms open, and pause for an inhale and exhale. And extend acceptance and gratitude to all the moments that are yet to come our way. And then with next breath, I invite you to bring palms flat to your chest and pause for an inhale and exhale. And extend acceptance and gratitude most of all to yourselves, just as you are in this moment, with whatever you're showing up with. Next breath, our hands return to heart center. We'll take one last breath together, inhaling and exhaling. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste, yogis.